Hi, this is Samina Sheikh here on Zoom channel, and with me today I have Garima, Monika, and Siddharth. Join me as I welcome all of them on Zoom.
Hi.
Much better now.
Yeah.
And I don't want to fumble on this one, but I have to talk about this movie called Dukaan. I saw the trailer, and it's fantastic. I must say that the emotions of yours, Monika, comes across very clearly in that how you are in the beginning of it versus how it flows completely. Tell me about your character, and when you were asked for this role, did you just say a yes or you were a bit skeptical?
No, I questioned them. Why are you taking me?
Yeah.
I mean, because I was full of doubt. And initially, you never get project like this, such a huge, and where you gonna carry the film on your shoulder. So yes, and then of course, I started preparing for this thing. So this is a story about this girl who is quite very far away from motherhood, and then how she kind of embraced the whole mother nature. And then in the whole process we are talking about surrogacy, and that too she encountered, and she come to know about this mother thing because of the surrogate child.
Correct.
That child, it's not her own child also.
Yeah.
So that's how through Jasmine lens you will come to know about this business of surrogacy, and that's we are talking about their lifestyle, their surrogate lifestyles, how they live, and what do they go through. It's not just about Jasmine, but surrogates.
While we have seen Monica in the trailer and she looks extremely beautiful the way she's portraying a role, I was surprised to see Sikandar Khair, to be very honest.
Right.
When I saw him, I was like, why he's been cast for this one, and I really want to know from both of you why Sikandar Khair for the role.
Okay, so Sikandar is a very we've seen him in various over the years he's been doing something here and there, and we feel there's something about him which is very subdued. So such characters with what he's playing, next to Monica, who has a very colorful and a very sort of a vibrant character, comes somebody who's a little subtle. And yet he's somebody who smiles and who lets her be who she is, who loves the fact that, she is like that. So for us, Sikandar fit the bill perfectly with that. And they set off each other very beautifully. Plus, it had to be somebody who's double her age. So, and which is actually the fact. I mean, Monica is really young and he's much older. So that chemistry was working very nicely for us.
Yeah. And also, Siddharth, Garima, like whenever I hear your name, over the years, it's been like Sanjay, Leela, Bhansali's, people who are coming together. And I am personally fond of the director's work, from school to college. We have seen him, presenting such a good craft, and now completely debuting, and doing a debut. Minus him, how it has been, I'm sure you must be having your own, difficulties. Did he give any inputs?
No, not really inputs, but he's been there as a guiding light right behind this light like that. So but having said that, he's a person who we connect to on a spiritual level, on an emotional level, on a creative level. So I guess that's the source of inspiration.
So he's been a light in the sense that when we decided to make a film, he's like, baby, just go ahead and do this and don't worry about the world. He touched the nariyal that we went and photoed on the shoot on day one, and then he called and he said that don't listen to anyone, do what you really want to do. Even now he's been calling when the release is so much closer. So, like that, it's just enough for us to have his blessings and his support like that, So he's been around.
But I have to ask both of you about this as well, that have you also adopted of being extremely very careful of what you really want on the set, being accurate? Like he has this OCD, he needs to be very precise. कि अगर दिया बुझ भी गया तो फिर से जाके जलाएंगे and you do the shot again. Were you all also doing something like that when you're working for the movie?
Not, I won't say because you cannot really copy anybody.
Yes, but adapting the perfectionist
we don't
qualities.
have that kind of luxury also. We had that very limited time to shoot a particular sequence. Of course, there has to be a fine balance of art and costume
Commerce,
and everything, all departments. But not at the same. But we don't have like she said, we didn't have the luxury. We had only 38 days to shoot this film. It was a budget film, and
in our case. जो दिया जला वो जला उसके बीच में वो शॉट पे अगर वो बुझा तो वो फिल्म में उतनी खूबसूरती से आपको दिखेगा so वैसा है. But see there are things that you that automatically are a part of your system when you work with a filmmaker like that. but there cannot be any comparisons because his budgets are way more luxurious, and we are people who work very frugally. So to create a canvas which we want is very different from how he operates.
Yeah. Also, we feel flaws are beautiful. Yeah.
that's
We
true.
believe in that in life also.
Yeah.
So it's okay if there is a little bit of a flaw. It looks natural.
And talking about the flaws, there is no flaw as such which I see, but I do see one thing which is very prominently visible, which is about the Rajasthani culture, or say the Gujarati side of culture, a mix of that, that
Yeah.
culture. That has been brought into picture, and we have seen that last, massively seen in Ramleela 10
Right.
years ago. So now when you bring that back, how was it? Especially what things have modified while you were trying to bring back that culture?
So Ramleela was essentially Kutchi,
Kutchi,
and
yes.
a lot of Kutch in that. This is another side to Gujarat. This is Anand mostly, So the color, while Gujarat is a very colorful state, so wo mirrors and embroidery work, all that it stays how it is, But yes, we were particular because we were also showing a certain period in the film. So we are talking about the 90s. Going into the 2000s. So, for us, the costume had to work at that level. And a certain kind of villages close to Anand. What kind of cloth and texture do you get there? So, we were taking care of those things mostly,
Yeah. And also, as we talk about this movie, and the trailer kind of, relates to Kriti Sanan's Mimi, and there were comparisons being made. What are your thoughts on that? Because it also spoke about surrogacy, and so does this movie.
Right.
Yeah. I feel the commercial surrogacy aspect, I don't think Mimi touched upon that. It was a story of a particular character, which was also a remake of a Marathi film. So it's very different from our film because, commercial surrogacy, which is a 1300 crore industry based out of Gujarat, has never been done on Indian cinema.
Right.
So I think we touch upon a very different aspect of surrogacy. So it's very different. Yeah, the comparisons are legit. I mean, whatever people see superficial, or at a satahi level. So,
But as we
I think once they will watch also, they will themselves see
Understand
the difference, and they'll comprehend this thing, and they'll come to know more about surrogacy. It's like, okay, Mimi, they have also shown something, but then they will be like, okay, there's more to the topic. It's just not limited to that thing. So it's just showing a different perspective.
And that is where I wanted to add this also. Surrogacy itself is a very delicate topic, Many people are really flourishing with this. It could be a business, but it also adds a lot of value to a family,
Absolutely.
in terms of, having a baby who cannot conceive, or someone right now they have also passed a law, for single mothers also, and there are certain laws. Recently only it was done.
Correct.
Don't you feel that now, as we see how India has developed in a lot of topics, earlier it was not even allowed, there was a certain ban. But now do you feel that the evolvement is there, because it's not everyone, maybe going through something or the other, but eventually they do want a child, in future.
Absolutely. So basically, it's still the ban is there. In 2019, the government put a ban on commercial surrogacy. Instead of regulating it, we feel there should be regulations. There should be rights to a surrogate. In other countries, surrogate's name appears on the birth certificate of a child. That should happen in this country. The acknowledgement and the credit given, I don't think beyond that there'll be a problem, because it's not a bad practice at all. There should be no shame in giving money and hiring someone to have a child for you. No shame in taking that money. Kisi ka ghar bas raha hai. Somebody is making money out of it. Their livelihoods are changing. There are women who get, they put their children in school because they are daily wage earners who end up making lakhs of rupees with this. So I think it's a fruitful practice. It's like any other business.
Yeah, and as talking about the music again, the music you guys have rocked. I think there is some kind of charm you all add to your music. What were you keeping your in thoughts while producing the music for this one, the lyrics and all, the dialogues also?
It belongs to a certain world. We feel only in such a film, project to project it's different, film to film, script to script. But in this kind of a film, we needed one person to compose the music, because there is only one particular sound of this film. So we decided to go with Shreyas Puranik, who's done a fabulous job on the music, and we have kept it very rooted, very true to the film. Songs are screenplays, so I think that's the connect that the audience is finding with it, and let's hope so.
And I think the best part about the music is it's not just the scene is going on and the music is going somewhere. It should elevate the scene.
Right.
It should do something to the character. It should, even if it should say something more about the character, something more about the scene, and that's how you enjoy music. It's not you're here and then you're somewhere else.
Correct.
And then you're back again.
दुनिया वही रहनी चाहिए
हाँ.
म्यूजिक में. And you know, apart from taking Shreyas's name, I would like to add Divya Kumar, the person who has done the background music for the film. I would say for people who come to watch Dukaan in the theaters, this is going to be a musical experience. They have designed some beautiful, Gujarati tracks also in the film, which are there in the opening sequence. Don't miss the opening of Dukaan. There's something very beautiful in there.
Okay.
You know, so musically it'll be an experience for people. We feel theater में लोगों को टिक के बैठने के लिए म्यूजिक बहुत बांध के रखता है. That should be a highlight for them.
और आप लोग में तो वो कला है, I must say that, because talking about animal, be it Satranga, be it even Pehlegi mein, the song has gone viral. Especially Satranga, you have complete participation to that. What thought did you keep, keeping Ranbir Kapoor in mind and knowing how the character has been, especially working in a Sandeep Reddy film, which is completely different.
Right. So I'll be honest, Satranga ka jo mukhda tha, that was written, the first part of Satranga was not written for Ranbir Kapoor. The song was written to a tune that Shreyas had sent to Siddharth. We sometimes just write a song because we feel the tune. And this song was then sung in a certain Diwali party in front of Sandeep Reddy Vanga. He fell in love with it. He's a South Indian director who understands Hindi lyric very well, Hindi music very well. And he said, I really like this. I think I'm going to use it. Now when he put it, he had told us the situation of his film. When he put it to that, he played it on a scene to us, is when we wrote the Antara. माथे से लगा लूं हाथ छू के मैं पैर तेरे. वो पूरा part came along from that, So yeah, the process of forming it then became even better, because then
even before we became lyricists, I think that this is what we used to talk about, and a lyrics writer always gets the film better than a writer also sometimes. Like you will see the best of songs in a movie which doesn't really talk about that moment or that situation.
True.
So I think that's what even Satranga is. It just nowhere in the film did Ranvijay's character apologize to Rashmika, only in the song. So I think that is one thing that it takes the screenplay forward.
Yeah, we feel that's what lyric should say. जो dialogue नहीं बोल रहा है, screenplay नहीं बोल रहा है, वो lyric को बोलना चाहिए. Yes. कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे लोगों का काम है. Bakshi साहब used to do that so well.
That's true actually. But as we also talk about Sandeep Reddy Vanga, and you guys have worked with him in Kabir Singh also, and especially the kind of work he presents, and he came for the trailer launch of Dukaan. We always see his work in a different radar. He gets criticized because people feel that it's quite male chauvinist, or he's trying to downplay feminism. What are your thoughts on that? Do you feel the same, or you feel that no, he's trying to show both the sides of the world and both having their own complexities to the characters what they're playing?
You want to take this first?
Yeah, but as in we don't agree with the kind of generic opinion that is generated around Sandeep Reddy Vanga and his films. Because it's to each his own. He's making those characters. He's not really making characters out of his, based on his own personality, right? He's creating. It's a fictional character. Let's keep it at that. I mean, and I'm sure feminism is far more stronger than one film coming and challenging it. It has to stand on its own feet, find its own feet in the society, and there is a battle of feminism is a very different battle. It cannot get affected by one movie, right? If it is that fragile, then okay, let's go back to the drawing board.
I feel that a filmmaker with a strong voice is always criticized by a certain section of the society. Just because he makes very strong male characters should not make women insecure about who they are. I don't find any of his female characters problematic. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. I always find a reason to justify, in my mind, to know that okay, this is why this character is behaving like that. Because आप writing करते हो तो आप समझ जाते हो कि ये ऐसा क्यों हुआ. So मुझे लगता है कि बेकार की criticism है. Like I said in the trailer launch also, he's a misunderstood feminist, and he is a feminist. He treats his crew, the women on his team very well. So I think it's all a sham.
Coming to you, Monika, you have been a part of the theatre world altogether, and you have also worked in Super 30. You have done few Bollywood films. Adopting anything from Bollywood has been different or difficult for you, because coming from theatre world, you're already a trained, artist for that matter. Or do you feel like the worlds are quite different because theatre somewhere dives deep, it's way too deep into a character, versus sometimes Bollywood is like, it's one off the roof,
So I think this is my first Bollywood film. In Super 30, yes, I came to Bombay, and then you have to start working things out, and it was something I've done, like it was a cameo role. So it was nothing. But I think that's how the industry is changing, and I think this is the best time. What was happening in like the parallel cinema was booming, and this is the right time for everyone, because that's why I've done theatre also, to dive deep into so that I can learn the skills. And now what's going on in the industry is it's becoming more profound, and people are just not talking about they are taking challenges, and they want to talk about the characters actor, not just the personality. Now it's abhi wo wala game nahi chalega ki just be what you are. There are films doing like that, jahan pe actors are just being what they are, but I think it's totally fine. It totally depend on like what kind of projects you want to choose for yourself, what kind of roles you want to choose for yourself. And I think it's changing, and that's how I have got this role also. Writers are writing it, the table is getting broad, but there is a difference, of course, but I think you can see a drastic change.
But you also feel the pressure because now the movie kind of is all on your shoulders in a way, because now it's the lead, and
especially in the Bollywood film, I mean, OTT is still fine, because sometimes there you are surrounded with, multi cast is there. So you are like, okay, I'll be here for this time, then he can take the pressure or she can take the pressure. But here it's like people will gonna see your face only for 2 hours straight. So it's like how it's gonna work out. But I think the character is written in such a good way that like after I read the script, so I was like, okay, 50% of the work is done. And same goes with the director also. They say if your casting is right, then 50% of the work is done. So for an actor also, if your writing and everything is right, so it's like, okay, now you just have to focus on the performance, you just have to emote something, rather than why she is doing, finding the senseless motivation ki why she should be doing like this. Because aapko sab kuch milta hai. You can see the history behind the character. So of course, but the pressure is always there, and especially jab release की बारी आती है, because once you're working, then तो you're just focusing on the character, but once it's like, okay, it's gonna release, because there's always a question, who is the girl on the poster, right? So that is difficult to answer, but I hope things will change. That's it.
Yeah. And to both of you, I have to ask this question that we often see many celebrities, coming for the trailer launch, or, for the song launch, or for the movie launch. Like say Karan Johar gives a shout out, or even a Salman Khan,
Right.
Would you prefer having any actor on board, who gives a shout out for this one, so that the word is, spread across?
Yes, we would like everyone to give a shout out to us. Why not?
But any specific, like everyone has this, Bollywood clouds and all, wherein they have their people.
Yeah.
Have you figured out your people who could be, part of this one?
Sandeep was there for the trailer launch.
He's
already
shouted out.
उन्होंने हमारा रिश्ता पक्का कर दिया है, हमारी दोस्ती को रिश्तेदारी.
Would we also prefer like Sanjay, Leela, Bhansali, doing something about
so
it?
he's been, Sanjay sir is not a very outgoing person. He will make that one call to me, but his shout outs are very personal. So
also we have no expectation.
Yeah.
To each his own. Everybody stands for their own friends.
Yes.
And we have not made so many friends in the industry, because
but I think we want a shout out from a layman,
Yeah.
That's our
Yeah.
audience.
That's our audience. Really, I mean, if I ask you the one reason why you will go and watch Dukaan in a theatre, you tell me that, and that'll be a shout out enough.
Yeah. Like we are doing a screening for
the for her
Dabba
character
Walas.
itself, because in that the way she's aggressively fighting itself makes you wonder like, okay, where she's up to.
Right.
I would really like navigate through that. Finally, did she win the fight or no?
Right.
Okay.
Eventually, it would be
That's
on
the
those lines, is
question.
what I feel. But before I let you go, even Leela recently completed 10 years, and Deepika and Ranveer are expecting their first child together.
Yes.
You have to share your fun memories with both of them. Like I remember in one of the interviews, you said that Deepika had cried, on the first day of the set. So I really want to know how it was working with the couple and about Leela altogether.
Yeah.
So Ranveer and Deepika were a outstanding combination to work with. Ranveer is a very process-driven actor. He completely immersed himself in the role of Ram, and yet he was quite a naughty person to be around on set. And he and Deepika, from the word go, we knew कि chemistry तो कुछ है. Deepika, of course, very nicely said once कि chemistry तो lines में थी, script में थी, तो we would like to believe कि we are responsible for that relationship to happen.
Partly.
Yeah.
And they got married on the same date as Ranveer
Ranveer
release.
release, yeah.
So I'm sure we played a part there.
Yeah.
Played
And
Cupid.
many congratulations to them. You know, of course, Deepika can say to Ranveer, मैं तुम्हारे बच्चे की माँ बनने वाली हूँ now. So
Finally she can.
finally she can.
Finally she can.
Well, lovely chatting with both of you, with trio actually, not both of you, but both the directors and also the actress. And looking forward to Dukaan. But before I let all of you go, what are your upcoming projects you're working on after this?
Yeah. Upcoming projects.
Yes.
After this, we have another film release, which will be in July. So it's a film with a studio. It's called Sale Ashik, and more on that later.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you will see me next. After this, you will see me on Amazon. It's a Matchbox show, and yeah, I think that's what I can reveal right now.
It's the same as
Same
Garima,
together,
right?
yes.
I mean,
Yes. Have you ever chosen to choose your own individual parts, or you prefer
not
working
really.
together always?
Not really.
Never really.
Yeah.
Unless he's hiding something from me.
Yeah.
Well, you have to figure that out.
Yeah, we're working secretly on a different project altogether. Yeah.
But lovely chatting with all of you and all the very
Thank you
best.
so much.
Hi, this is Siddharth of Siddharth Garima, and you're watching me exclusively on Zoom.
Hi, this is Monika Panwar, and you're watching me exclusively on Zoom.
Hi, this is Garima of Siddharth Garima, and you're watching me exclusively on Zoom.